Good afternoon guys, and Will again, and welcome back to day 3 of the Cheltenham Festival preview with us here at the Dirty Punters Productions team. As you can see today, the Beast from the East might be here, but that's not going to bother us. We're still going to film this live, we're still going to do it outside. We've got the perfect weather conditions. It's a shame that we're not going to do it all outside, because when we got to race 5 later on, which is the Brown Plate Advisory, there is a horse in there that we are going to talk about called Snow Falcon, which with this weather would be quite appropriate. But the first race that we are going to look at is the opening race of the day. Again, it's a Sky Bet special race of where you get your money back up to £20 if your horse does not win this race. And this is the JLT Novices Chase. This is a Grade 1 race over 2 miles and 4. Current favourite in this race we have already mentioned on previous days, and this is Invitation Only for Willie Mullins. He's currently trading at 7-2. He's a 7-year-old. Again, like I say, he makes another appearance on the podcast. This is the shortest price that you'll find him throughout the festival from the races that we've looked at, so you'd imagine that this is his likely target. He has 2 wins and a solid third after including in that form after falling on his debut. Like I say, I'm not going to go into it too much as we have already covered him off, but however, 7-2 favourite, does look quite strong in here. However, there are other horses that I would be backing, so like I say, Invitation Only is your favourite. There are other horses in here who will push him hard. I don't expect him to win the race myself, but I'll probably be proven wrong. The second horse in here is Monolly for Henry de Bromhead at 11-2. He is expected to run in the RSA Chase, so I'm not expecting to see him in the JLT this year. He just beat Invitation Only last time out. So you can see that Invitation Only, if he does race against Monolly in here, he has got form on Monolly's side, so if Monolly doesn't go for the RSA and he comes here, I do expect Monolly to put up a better performance than Invitation Only, to therefore win the race if he was to be in here. Like I say, again, Monolly was mentioned yesterday, so again, another horse I'm going to skim over quite quickly, and I don't really need to waste much time going over it again today. So the next horse in the market is currently 7-1 for Paul Nicholls, and that is Modus, an 8-year-old. He did win on the Class 4 start over fences at Bangor. That was on good ground, so you can see that at that day it raced on good ground, so it's going to be a bit of different conditions today as the snow continues to fall outside of here. So we can see that the weather, that's not putting us off. I don't think it's going to put this horse off either. The fact that it has also raced on soft ground, as we'll cover as well. He did win a Grade 2 race, the Rising Stars at Wincanton. He was 8-15 on favourite. He jumped and travelled really well, so I don't think that's going to have any problems when it comes to the festival race this year. He won that race by 9 lengths, beating Calondra, who won on its next start, and that was here, so you can see that the form line is quite strong. It ties into Cheltenham, which is going to be even better as we go on. He did fall at Exeter when behind West Approach. It wasn't exactly the strongest ran race pace-wise, so I think that's probably why Modus couldn't get properly into it. I'm willing to put a line through that piece of form, because the rest of it is quite strong. As you can see again, we won another Class 2 at Kempton. He was 8-15 on again that day. He won by 3 lengths. It was on good soft ground, which Cheltenham were expecting. I think it might be on the soft side, definitely with the weather that's around at the moment. But for me, Modus is a very strong horse in this race. Another one that we touched off yesterday was Benatar for Gary Moore. In this race he's 8-1, whereas in the other race that we discussed yesterday he was actually 20-1, so you can see that this race is a lot shorter, as the snow really is starting to pick up now, and it is blowing all over the place, guys, so please stay with me for this one. As I mentioned, he's a bit of the same as Invitation Only. It's the shortest price that you'll see him throughout the festival, so if he does come in here, I think he's got a better chance in this race. He's an unbeaten chaser. He's won 2 Class 3 starts and the Mitty Noel Grade 2 at Ascot last time. He did beat Finian's Oscar. We do know that Finian's Oscar isn't exactly the best chaser, but if we looked at form from Finian's Oscar a couple of years ago, we'd say that was pretty strong form. Which does bring me nicely on to Finian's Oscar being the next horse in the market for Colin Tizard at 8-1. Beats a favourite on his last 3 starts. For me, he doesn't exactly fill me with confidence over fences. He's a lot better hurdler for me, so I'm not exactly expecting much here. Like I say, he did win here last time out. He's won here, not last time out where he's actually pulled up. I can't really see a win here for this horse. He's a lot better over hurdles. If he was over hurdles, I think he'd give a lot better account for himself. The next horse in here is for Nicky Henderson, and this is Terrafort, currently at 8 to 1, in from 12 to 1, so you can see he is a little bit of a market mover. He is one of the youngest horses in the race at just 5 years old. He is for Simon Monier and Isaac Swain as well, who I think are going to have a pretty good festival, along with Paul and Claire Rooney. Jigginstown, I do expect Jigginstown to win the top trainer, the top owners award for Gordon Elliott in there as well. You can see that he's won in his last 2 starts, both on soft ground, so he's going to love this ground that's going to come up at Cheltenham this year for me, especially on the Thursday where it's been raced on a little bit, so it's going to get quite testing, I would have thought, if this weather stays around. He won a Class 3 at Hunterton, 6-4 favourite by 10 lengths. It was very impressive. There's no other words that you could say about that. In that race, he did beat Benatar, he did beat Exitas, so again, you can see that is pretty strong form. Everyone thought Exitas was going to be a bit better than what he has been since, but you can see that, as we've mentioned, Benatar in a couple of races, you can see that form line does appear to be quite strong. He won a Grade 1 at Sandown, the Scilly Isles race last time as well, by a neck beating Surname. Now Surname, this piece of form means quite a lot really, because Surname has come out since and won races very, very easily. So for me, I'm liking that piece of form. Terrafort in here does look to be quite a big price, with a great deal of value to it, especially on each way terms. So I think this is one of the horses that I'd be looking at for me in this race. There are a couple of other entries in here, one for Album Photo and one for Footpad. We don't expect to see them in here. I'm not going to bother covering them off because they're not going to run here. We know that where Footpad's going, we know where Album Photo is going. The outsider for me, however, the last horse that I just want to quickly cover off really, is 33 to 1. So you can see that it is a big price outside of it. Last year we had a 40 to 1 winner in Doomsday Book, so I think he's well worth covering off very quickly. This is Sutton Place, like I mentioned, for Gordon Elliott, the 7-year-old. This is his only entry here at the festival this year, so it's pretty obvious that if he does run, he is going to come into this race. He pulled up last time out when he was 11 to 4 joint favourite in a race won by Molly. So you can see that the form of that race has worked out extremely well. In that race, Invitation Only was 3rd as well, so like I say, all ties in pretty nicely together there. He was a 4 to 6 easy favourite winner last time as well at Fairy House on heavy ground. So again, ground concerns not going to be a problem. He was pulled up previously to that, but he was lame, so I'm willing to forgive that run. It wasn't like it was without a reasoning behind it, and the vets found that very quickly, so it wasn't just an excuse that came out a few days later. It came out pretty quickly, so I'm willing to go along with that. That was in April 2017 at Punchestown, when You Know What I Mean Harry, who will cover off in the stayers later on, built sadly the ill-fated Nichols Canyon. But for me at 33 to 1, I do think this horse is quite a big price, and I would be having just a little each way play on this horse myself. I do like Modus in here. I think Modus is going to be the horse who's going to be quite prominent in the market. Certainly when it comes to the race, he'll be prominent throughout. I do like Terrafort in here. I do think Terrafort is probably the most likely winner for me in this race, looking at what happens if he runs. Sutton Place should be involved at the finish when it comes to it, definitely at each way. 33 to 1, like I say, you're still going to get 6, 7, 8 to 1 on each way places if you can get there quickly. But for me, that covers off the JLT on the opening day of Thursday.